Arjuna, having obtained that best of bows, and that couple of inexhaustible quivers, and that car and flagstaff, as also that assembly house, addressing Yudhishthira, said, bow, weapons, great energy, allies, territory, fame, arm, those difficult of acquisition, however, desirably have all been obtained by me. I think, therefore, that what should now be done is for the swelling up of our treasury. I desire to make the kings pay tribute to us. I desire to set out in an auspicious moment of a holiday of the moon, under the favorable constellation for the conquest of the direction that is presided over by the Lord of Treasures. King Yudhishthira the Just, hearing these words of Dhananjaya, replied unto him in a grave and collect tone, saying, Bull of the Mahabharata race, set thou out, having made whole Brahmanas utter benedictions on thee, to plunge thy enemies in sorrow, and to fill thy friends with joy. Victory will surely be thine, and thou wilt surely obtain thy desires fulfilled. Thus addressed, Arjuna, surrounded by a large host, set out in that celestial car of wonderful achievements he had obtained from Agni. And Bhishmasena, and those bow among men, the twins, dismissed with affection by Yudhishthira the Just, set out, each at the head of a large arm. And Arjuna, the son of the chastiser of Paka, then brought under subjugation that direction, which was presided over by the Lord of Treasuries. And Bhishmasena, overcome by force the east, and Sahadeva the south, and Nakula, acquainted with all the weapons, conquered the west. Thus, while his brothers were so employed, the exalted King Yudhishthira the Just stayed within Kihandava Prastiha, in the enjoyment of great affluence in the midst of friends and relatives. Janamejaya said, Narrate to me in full the history of the conquest of all the points of the horizon. I am never satiated with listening to great history of my ancestors. This earth was subjugated by the sons of Pritha at the same time. I shall, therefore, tell thee of the campaign of Dhananjaya first. At the outcast, the long-armed Dhananjaya brought under yoke the kings of the country of the Kulindas by his courageous feats. Having brought the Kulindas, the Anarthas, and the Kalakutas under his sway, Arjuna subjugated Sumandala with his troops. Then the chastiser of our foes, capable of fighting with equal skill with both hands, assisted by Sumandala, conquered the island called Sakala, as also King Prithivindriya. There were many kings in the island of Sakala, which was one of the 7 islands of the earth. The encounters that took place between them at the head of their troops and Arjuna were fierce. Even those great bowmen were all vanquished by Arjuna, and uniting himself with all of them, he then attacked the kingdom of Prajayotisha. There was a great monarch called Vihagadatta, with whom the encounter that the illustrious Pandava had was fierce. And the king of Prajayotisha was supported by a host of Kiratas and kings, and numerous other warriors that dwelt on the sea coast. King Vihagadatta, having fought with Dhananjaya for 8 days continuously, and finding him still untired in battle, smiling, said, Thou of long arms, son of the Kuru race, this energy is indeed well suited to thee who art the son of chastiser of Paka, a great hero and a Jew among warriors. I am the friend of Indra, scarcely inferior to him in battle. I cannot stay before thee in fight. Tell me what I am to do and which thou desirest. Thou of long arms, I shall accomplish whatever thou wilt say. Thus addressed, Arjuna replied, that bow amongst the Kurus, King Yudhishthira, the son of the Dharma, is conversant with the rules of morality, devoted to truth, and a performer of sacrifice, in which the gifts are great. I desire to see him acquire the imperial dignity. Let tribute be paid by thee unto him. Thou art my father friend, and gratified thou hast also been by me. I cannot command thee. Let the tribute, therefore, be paid by thee joyously at thy will. Bhagadatta, hearing this, said, Thou who hast Kunti for thy mother, as thou art to me, so is Yudhishthira also. I shall do all this. Tell me what else I may do for thee. Thus addressed, Dhananjaya replied unto Bhagadatta, saying, If thou wilt give thy promise to do this, thou hast done all I desire. And having thus subjugated the king of Pragyotisa, Dhananjaya of long arms, the son of Kunti, then marched thence towards the north, the direction presided over by the Lord of Treasuries. That bow amongst men, that son of Kunti, then conquered the mountainous tracts and their outskirts, as also the hill regions. And having conquered all the mountains and the kings that reigned there, and bringing them under his sway, he exacted tributes from all, and winning the affections of those kings, and uniting himself with them, he next marched against Vrihanta, the king of Uluka, making this earth tremble with the sound of his drums, the clatter of his chariot wheels, and the roar of the elephants in his train. Vrihanta, however, quickly coming out of his city, followed by his army, consisting of all kinds of troops, gave battle to Falguna, and the fight that took place between Vrihanta and Dhananjaya was terrible. It so happened that Vrihanta was unable to bear the prowess of the son of Pandu. Then that invincible king of the mountainous region, regarding the son of Kunti irresistibly, approached him with all his wealth. Arjuna snatched out the kingdom from Vrihanta, but having made peace with him, marched, accompanied by that king, against Senavindu, whom he soon expelled from his kingdom. After this he subjugated Modapura, Vamadeva, Sudaman, Susankula, the northern Ulukas, and the kings of those countries and peoples. He after, at the command of Yudhishthira, Arjuna did not move from the seat of Senavindu, but sent his troops on and brought under his sway those 5 countries and peoples. For Arjuna, having arrived at Devaprastiha, the seat of Senavindu, took up his quarters there with his army, consisting of all kinds of forces. Thence, surrounded by the kings and the peoples he had subjugated, the hero marched against King Visvagasva, that bull of Puruhais, having vanquished in battle the brave mountaineers who were all great warriors, the son of Pandu. Then occupied with the help of his troops the town protected by the Puru king, having vanquished in battle the Puru king, as also the robust tribes of the mountains, the son of Pandu brought under his sway the 7 tribes called Uchisava Sanketa. that bull of the Kshatriya race, then defeated the brave Kshatriyas of Kashmira, and also King Lohita, along with 10 minor chiefs. Then the Trigartas, the Daravas, the Kokonadas, and various other Kshatriyas advanced against the son of Pandu, that prince of the Kuru race, then took the delightful town of Avisari, and then brought under his sway Hamana, ruling in Uraga. Then the son of Indra, putting forth his might, pressed the delightful town of Singhapura, that was well protected with various weapons. Then Arjuna, that bull amongst the son of Pandu, at the head of all his troops, fiercely attacked the regions called Suma and Sumala. Then the son of Indra, endowed with great prowess, after pressing them with great force, brought the Valhikas, always difficult of being vanquished, under his sway. Then Falguna, the son of Pandu, taking with him a select force, defeated the Daradas along with the Kambojas. Then the exalted son of Indra vanquished the robber tribes that dwelt in the northern eastern frontier, and those that dwelt in the woods. The son of Indra subjugated the allied tribes of the Lohas, and the eastern Kambojas, and the northern Hishikas, and the battle with the Hishikas was fixed in the extreme. Indeed, the fight that took place between them and the son of Pritha was equal to that between the gods and the Asuras, in which Taraka had become the cause of so much slaughter. And defeating the Hishikas in the field of battle, Arjuna took from them as tribute 8 horses that were of the color of the parrot breast, as also other horses of the hues of the peacock, born in the northern and other climes, and endowed with high speed. At last, having conquered all the Himalayas and the Niskuta mountains, that bull among men, arriving at the White Mountains, encamped on its breast. That heroic and foremost of the Pandavas, endowed with great energy, crossing the White Mountains, subjugated the country of the Limpurusas, ruled by Durmaputra, after a collision involving a great slaughter of Kshatriyas, and brought the region under his complete sway. Having reduced that country, the son of Indra, with a collected mind, marched at the head of his troops to the country called Harataka, ruled by the Guhakas, subjugating them by a policy of conciliation. The Kuru prince beheld that excellent of lakes called Manasa, and various other lakes and tanks sacred to the rishis. And the exalted prince, having arrived at the lake Manasa, conquered the regions ruled by the Gandharbas that lay around the Harataka territories. Here the conqueror took as tribute from the country numerous excellent horses called Titiri, Kalmasha, Manduka. At last the son of the slayer of Paka, arriving in the country of North Harivarsha, desired to conquer it. Thereupon certain frontier guards of hug bodies and endowed with great strength and energy, coming to him with gallant hearts, said, Son of Pritha, this country can be never conquered by thee. If thou seekest thy good, return hence. He that entereth this region, if human, is sure to perish. We have been gratified with thee. Hero, thy conquests have been enough, nor is anything to be seen here that may be conquered by thee. The northern Kurus live here. There cannot be war here. Even if thou enterest it, thou wilt not be able to behold anything, for with human eyes nothing can be seen here. If, however, thou seekest anything else, tell us, Tiger among men, so that we may do thy bidding. Thus addressed by them, Arjuna, smiling, addressing them, said, these are the acquisition of the imperial dignity by Yudhishthira, the just, of great intelligence. If your land is shut against human beings, I shall not enter it. Let something be paid unto Yudhishthira by ye as tribute. Hearing these words of Arjuna, they gave him as tribute many clothes and ornaments of celestial make, silks of celestial texture, and skins of celestial origin. It was thus that I among men subjugated the countries that lay to the north, having fought numberless battles with both Kshatriyas and robbers tribes, and having vanquished the chiefs and brought them under his sway, he exacted from them much wealth, various gems and jewels, the horses of the species called Titiri and Kalmazha, as also those of the color of the parrot wings, and those that were like the peacocks in hue, and all ended with the speed of the wind, and surrounded by a large arm consisting of the 4 kinds of forces. The hero came back to the excellent seat of Sakra Prastiha, and Partiha offered the whole of that wealth, together with the animals he had brought, unto Yudhishthira the just, and commanded by the monarch, the hero retired to a chamber of the palace for haste. In the meantime, Bhishmasena ended with great energy, having obtained the assent of Yudhishthira the just, marched towards the eastern direction. And the tiger among the Biharatas, possessed of great valor and ever increasing the sorrows of his foes, was accompanied by a mighty host with the full complement of elephants and horses and cars, well armed and capable of crushing all hostile kingdoms. The tiger among men, the son of Pandu, going first into the great country of the Pankhalas, began by various means to conciliate that tribe. Then that hero, that bull of the Bharata race, within a short time vanquished the Gandakas and the Videhas. That exalted on, then subjugated the Dasarnas. There in the country of the Dasarnas, the king called Sudhiharman, with his bare arms, fought a fierce battle with Bhishmasena, and Bhishmasena, beholding that feat of the illustrious king, appointed the mighty Sudhiharman as the first in command of his forces. Then Bhishma, of terrible prowess, marched towards the east, causing the earth itself to tremble with the tread of the mighty host that followed him. Then that hero, who in strength was the foremost of all strong men, defeated in battle Hokhamana, the king of Asvamedha, at the head of all his troops. And the son of Kunti, having vanquished that monarch by performing feats that excelled in fierceness, subjugated the eastern region. Then that prince of the Kuru race, and with great prowess, going into the country of Pulinda in the south, brought Sukumara and the king Sumitra under his sway. Then that bull in the Bharata race, at the command of Yudhishthira the just, marched against Sisupala of great energy. The king of Khedi, hearing of the intentions of the son of Pandu, came out of his city, and that chastiser of our foes then received the son of Pritiha with respect. Then those bulls of the Khedi and the Kuru lines thus meet together and queried after each other welfare. Then the king of Khedi offered his kingdom unto Bhishma, and said smiling, "Sing less on upon what art thou bent?" And Bhishma thereupon represented unto him the intentions of King Yudhishthira. And Bhishma dwelt there for 13 nights, duly entertained by Sisupala, and after this he set out from Khedi with his troops and vehicles. that chastiser of our foes, then vanquished King Srinimat of the country of Kumara, and then Vrihadivala, the king of Kosala. Then the foremost of the sons of Pandu, by performing feats excelling in fierceness, defeated the virtuous and might King Digvijaya of Ayodhya, and exalted on, then subjugated the country of Gopalakaksha, and the northern Kosalas, and the king of Malas, and the might on, arriving then in the moist region at the foot of the Himalayas, soon brought the whole country under his sway. And that bull of Mahabharata haze brought under control in this way diverse countries, and ended with great energy and in strength. The foremost of our strong men, the son of Pandu, next conquered the country of Vihalata, as also the mountain of Sukitimanta, that was by the side of Vihalata. Then Bhima of terrible prowess and long arms, vanquishing in battle the unretreating Subahu, the king of Kasi, brought him under complete sway. Then that bull among the sons of Pandu overcame in battle by sheer force the great king Kratiha, reigning in the region lying about Suparsa. Then the hero of great energy vanquished the Matsya and the powerful Maladas, and the country called Pasubihumi, that was without fear or oppression of any kind. And the long-armed hero, then coming from that land, conquered Madahara, Mahidara, and the Somadiheyas, and turned his steps towards the north. And the mighty son of Kunti then subjugated by sheer force the country called Vachisabihumi, and the king of the Bihargas, as also the ruler of the Nishadas, and Manimat, and numerous other kings. Then Bhima, with his castle and degree of exertion, and very soon vanquished the Sufan Malas and the Vihagawanta mountains. And the hero next vanquished by Paulus alone the Sarmakas and the Varmakas, and that tiger among men then defeat with comparative ease that lord of earth, Janaka, the king of Videhas. And the hero then subjugated strategically the Sakas and the barbarians living in that part of the country. And the son of Pandu, sending forth expeditions from Videha, conquered the 7 kings of the Kiratas living about the Indra mountain. The mighty hero then, ended with abundant energy, vanquished in battle the Subimas and the Parasumas, and winning them over to his side. The son of Kunti, possessed of great strength, marched against Magadha. On his way he subjugated the monarchs known by the names of Danda and Dandadihara, and accompanied by those monarchs the son of Pandu marched against Girivraja. After bringing the son of Jarasandha under his sway by conciliation and making him pay tribute, the hero then, accompanied by the monarchs he had vanquished, marched against Kansa, and making the earth tremble by means of his troops, consisting of the 4 kinds of forces. The foremost of the Pandavas then encountered Karna, that slayer of foes, and having subjugated Karna and brought him under his sway, the mighty hero then vanquished the powerful king of the mountainous regions. And the son of Pandu then slew in a fierce encounter by the strength of his arms the mighty king who dwelt in Madagiri. And the Pandava then subjugated in battle those strong and brave heroes of fierce prowess, the heroic and mighty Vasudeva, the king of Pundra, and King Mahauja, who reigned in Kausika, Kakha, and then attacked the king of Vanga, and having vanquished Samudrasena and King Chandrasena and Tamralipita, and also the king of the Karvatas, and the ruler of the Sumas, as also the kings that dwelt on the sea shore, that blew among the Biharatas, then conquered our Lekha tribes. The mighty son of the wind god, having thus conquered various countries and exacting tributes from them, are advanced towards Lohiti. And the son of Pandu then made out the Melekha kings dwelling in the Mahshi regions on the sea coast, paid tributes in various kinds of wealth, in sandalwood, and aloes, and cloths, and jams, and pearls, and blankets, and gold, and silver, and valuable corals. The Melekha kings showered upon the illustrious son of Kunti a thick downpour of wealth, consisting of coins and gems counted by hundreds of millions. Then returning to Indraprastha, Bhima of terrible prowess offered the whole of that wealth unto King Yudhishthira the just. Thus Sahadeva, dismissed with affection by King Yudhishthira the just, marched towards the southern direction, accompanied by mighty host, strong in strength, that mighty prince of the Kuru race, vanquishing completely at the outset the Surasenas, broke the king of Matsya under his sway, and the hero then, defeating Dantavakra, the mighty king of the Adihi Rajas, and making him pay tribute, established him on his throne. The prince then brought under his sway Sukumara, and then King Sumitra, and he next vanquished the other Matsyas, and then the Papakharas, and with great intelligence. The Kuru warrior then conquered Sunog, the country of the Nishadas, and the high hill called Goshinga, and that lord of the earth called Srinimat, and subjugating next the country called Navahastra. The hero marched against Kuntibihoja, who with great willingness accepted the sway of the conquering hero, and marching thence to the banks of the Harmanvati, the Kuru warrior met the son of King Jamvaka, who had, on account of old hostilities, been defeated before by Vasudeva. The son of Jamvaka gave battle to Sahadeva, and Sahadeva, defeating the prince, marched towards the south. The mighty warrior then vanquished the Sekas, and ordered and exacted tributes from them in various kinds of gems and wealth. Allying himself with the vanquished tribes, the prince then marched towards the countries that lay on the banks of the Narmada, and defeating there in battle the two heroic kings of Avanti, called Vinda and Anuvinda, supported by mighty host, the mighty son of the twin gods, exacted much wealth from them. After this, the hero marched towards the town of Bihojakata, and there a fierce encounter took place between him and the king of that city for 2 whole days. But the son of Madri, vanquishing the invincible Bihismaka, then defeated in battle the king of Kosala and the ruler of the territories, lying on the banks of the Vengva, as also the Kantarakas and the kings of the eastern Kosalas. The hero then defeating both the Natakeyas and the Heramvaks in battle, and subjugating the country of Marudhiha, reduced Munjagrama by sheer strength. And the son of Pandu then vanquished the mighty monarchs of the Nakhinas, and the Arvukas, and the various forest kings of that part of the country, and with great strength. The hero then reduced to subjection King Vatadihipa, and defeating in battle the Pulindas. The hero then marched southward, and the younger brother of Nakula then fought for on holiday with the king of Pandria. The long-armed hero, having vanquished that monarch, marched further to the south. And then he beheld the celebrated caves of Kiskindihia, and in that region fought for 7 days with the monk kings, Mainda and Digvijaya. Those illustrious kings, however, without being tired in the encounter, were gratified with Sahadeva, and joyful, addressing the Kuru prince, they said, "Take among the sons of Pandu, go hence, taking with the tribute from us all. Let the mission of the king Yudhishthira, the just, possessed of great intelligence, be accomplished without hindrance." And taking jewels and gems from them all, the hero marched towards the seat of Nahismati, and there that bull of men did battle with King Nila. The battle that took place between King Nila and the mighty Sahadeva, the son of Pandu, that slayer of hostile heroes, was fierce and terrible, and the encounter was an exceedingly bloody one, and the life of the hero himself was exposed to great risk, for the god Agni himself assisted King Nila in that fight. Then the cars, heroes, elephants, and the soldiers in their coats of mail of Sahadeva arm all appeared to be on fire. And beholding these, the prince of the Kuru race became exceedingly anxious. And at sight of this, the hero could not resolve upon what he should do. Janamejaya said, "Regenerate on, why was it that the god Agni became hostile in battle unto Sahadeva, who was fighting simply for the accomplishment of a sacrifice?" It is said that the god Agni, while residing in Mahismati, earned the reputation of a lover. King Nila had a daughter who was exceedingly beautiful. She used always to stay near the sacred fire of her father, causing it to blaze up with vigor. And it so happened that King Nila's fire, even if fanned, would not blaze up till agitated by the gentle breath of that girl's fair lips. And it was said in King Nila's palace, and in the house of all his subjects, that the god Agni desired that beautiful girl for his bride. And it so happened that he was accepted by the girl herself. One day the deity, assuming the form of a Brahmana, was happily enjoying the society of the fair one, when he was discovered by the king. And the virtuous king thereupon ordered the Brahmana to be punished according to law. At this the illustrious deity flamed up in wrath, and beholding this the king wondered much, and bent his head low on the ground. And after some time the king, bowing low, bestowed the daughter of his upon the god Agni, disguised as a Brahmana. And the god Vibhabasu, accepting that fair-browed daughter of King Nila, became gracious unto that monarch. And Agni, the illustrious gratifier of all desires, asked the monarch to beg a boon of him, and the king begged that his troops might never be struck with panic while engaged in battle. And from that time, those monarchs who from ignorance of this desire to subjugate King Nila's seat are consumed by Hutasana. And from that time, the girls of the seat of Mahismati became rather unacceptable to others, and Agni by his boon granted them sexual liberty, so that the women of that town always roam about at will, each unbound to a particular husband. From that time the monarchs forsake this seat for fear of Agni, and the virtuous Sahadeva, beholding his troops afflicted with fear and surrounded by flames of fire, himself stood there immovably as a mountain, In purifying himself and touching Vada, the hero, then addressed Agni, the god that sanctifieth everything, in these words: Abo unto thee, thou whose track is always marked with smoke. These my exertions are all for thee. Thou sanctifier of all, thou art the mouth of the gods, and thou art sacrifice personified. Thou art called Pavaka, because thou sanctifiest everything, and thou art Havyavahana, because thou carriest the clarified butter that is poured on thee. The Vedas have sprung for ministering unto thee, and therefore thou art called Jataveda. Chief of the gods, as thou art called Hitrabhihanu, Anala, Vibhavasu, Hutasana, Jivalana, Sikhi, Vaisvanara, Pingesa, Plavanga, Bihuhi Teja. Thou art he from whom Kumara had his origin. Thou art Hol, thou art called Hudragarva, and Hiranyakriti. Let thee grant me energy, let Vayu grant me life, let earth grant me nourishment and strength, and let Vada grant me prosperity. Thou who art the first cause of the waters, thou who art of great purity, thou for ministering unto whom the Vedas having sprung, thou who art the foremost of the deities, thou who art their mouth, purify me by thy truth. Rishis and Brahmanas, deities and Asuras, who clarified butter every day according to the ordinance into thee during sacrifice. Let the rains of truth emanating from thee, while thou exhibitest thyself in those sacrifices, purify me. Smoke bannered as thou art and possessed of flames, thou great purifier, from all things born of Vayu, and ever present as thou art in all creatures. Purify me by the rings of thy truth, having cleansed myself thus self-fully. Do I pray unto thee? Grant me now contentment and prosperity, and knowledge and gladness. He that will pour clarified butter into Agni, reciting these mantras, will ever be blessed with prosperity, and having his soul under complete control, will be cleansed from all his sins. Sahadeva, addressing Agni, again said, Carrier of the sacrificial libations, it behoveth thee not to obstruct a sacrifice. Having said this, the tiger among men, the son of Madri, spreading some kusa grass on earth, sat thou in expectation of the fire, and in front of those terrified and anxious troops of his. And Agni, too, like the ocean that never transgresseth its continents, did not pass over his head. On the other hand, approaching Sahadeva quietly and addressing that prince of the Kuruhes, Agni, that god of men, gave him every assurance and said, Thou of the Kuruhes, rise up from this posture, rise up, I was only trying thee. I know all thy purpose, as also those of the son of Dharma. As long as there is a descendant of King Nila line, so long shall this town be protected by me. I will, however, gratify the desires of thy heart. And at these words of Agni, the son of Madri rose up with a cheerful heart, and joining his hands and bending his head, worshipped that god of fire, sanctifier of all beings. And at last, after Agni had disappeared, King Nila came there, and at the command of that deity worshipped with the rites Sahadeva, the tiger among men, that master of battle. And Sahadeva accepted that worship and made him pay tribute. and having brought King Nila under his sway, thus the victorious son of Madri then went further towards the south. The long-armed hero then brought the king of Tripura of immeasurable energy under his sway, and next turning his forces against the Paurava kingdom, he vanquished and reduced to subjection the monarch thereof, and the prince after this with great efforts brought Akriti, the king of Sauhastra, and preceptor of the Kausikas under his sway. The virtuous prince, while staying in the kingdom of Sauhastra, sent an ambassador unto King Hukimin of Bihismaka within the territories of Bihojakata, who, rich in possessions and intelligence, was the friend of Indra himself. And the monarch, along with his son, remembering their relationship with Krishna, cheerfully accepted the sway of the son of Pandu, and the master of Baitali then, having exacted dues and wealth from King Hukimin, marched further to the south, and ended with great energy and great strength. The hero then reduced to subjection Surparaka and Talakata, and the Dandakas. The Kurwara then vanquished and brought under his subjection numberless kings of the Mlekha tribe living on the sea coast, and the Nizhadas, and the cannibals, and even the Karnapravarnas, and those tribes called the Kalamukihas, who were a cross between human beings and Hakishasas, and the whole of the Kol mountains, and Surabihipatna, and the island called the Cooper Island, and the mountain called Hamaka, the high solid warrior, having brought under subjection King Timingila, conquered a Hawaiian tribe known by the name of the Kerakas, who were men with one leg. The son of Pandu conquered the town of Sanjayanti and the country of the Pashandas and the Karahatakas by means of his messengers alone, and made all of them pay tribute to him. The hero brought under his subjection and exacted tributes from the Paundraiyas and the Dravidas, along with the Udrakeralas and the Andiharas and the Talavanas, the Kalingas and the Ustrakarnikas, and the delightful seat of Atavi, and that of the Yavanas. That slayer of our foes, the virtuous and intelligent son of Madri, having arrived at the sea shore, then dispatched with great assurance messengers unto the illustrious Vibhishana, the grandson of Pulastia, and the monarch willingly accepted the sway of the son of Pandu, for that intelligent and exalted king regarded it all as the act of time. And he sent unto the son of Pandu diverse kinds of jewels and gems and sandal and wood and many celestial ornaments and much costly apparel and many valuable pearls. And the intelligent Sahadeva, accepting them all, returned to his own kingdom. Thus it was that slayer of our foes, having vanquished by conciliation in war numerous kings and having made them pay tribute, came back to his own city. The bull of the Bharata race, having presented the whole of that wealth unto King Yudhishthira the just, regarded himself as crowned with success and continued to live happily. I shall now recite to you the deeds and triumphs of Nakula, and how that exalted one conquered the direction that had once been subjugated by Vasudeva. The intelligent Nakula, surrounded by a large host, set out from Kirandava Prastiha for the west, making this earth tremble with the shouts and the lolling roars of the warriors and the deep rattle of chariot wheels. and the hero first assailed the mountainous country called Hohitaka, that was dear unto Kartikeya, and which was delightful and prosperous, and full of kind, and every kind of wealth, and produce. And the encounter the son of Pandu had with the Matamiuhakas of that country was fierce. And the illustrious Nakula after this subjugated the whole of the desert country, in the region known as Saihishaka, full of plenty, as also that other one called Maheta. And the hero had a fierce encounter with the royal sage Akrosa. And the son of Pandu left that part of the country, having subjugated the Dasarnas, the Sivis, the Trigartas, and the Amvastas, the Malavas, the 5 tribes of the Karnatas, and those twice-born class that were called the Madhyamakeyas and Vatadihanas, and making circuitous journey that bore among men, then conquered the tribes called the Uchisava Sanketas. And the illustrious hero soon brought under subjection the mighty Gramania that dwelt on the shore of the sea, and the Sudras, and the Abhiras that dwelt on the banks of the Sarasvati, and all those tribes that lived upon fisheries, and those that dwelt on the mountains, and the whole of the country called after the 5 rivers, and the mountains called Amara, and the country called Utahayotisha, and the seat of Divyakuta, and the tribe called Divarapala, and the son of Pandu, by sheer force, reduced to subjection the Hamatihas, the Harahunas, and various kings of the west. And while in staying there, Nakula sent messengers unto Vasudeva, and Vasudeva with all the Yadavas accepted his survey, and the mighty hero, proceeding thence to Sakala, the seat of the Madras, made his uncle Salia accept from affection the sway of the Pandavas. And the illustrious prince, deserving the hospitality and entertainment of his uncle Hans, was well entertained by his uncle, and skilled in war, the prince, taking from Salia a large quantity of jewels and gems, left his kingdom. And the son of Pandu then reduced to subjection the fierce Melekhas residing on the sea coast, as also the giant tribes of the Palhavas, the Kiratas, the Yavanas, and the Sakas, and having subjugated various monarchs, and making all of them pay tributes, Nakula, that foremost of the Kurus, full of resources, he traced his way towards his own city, and so great was the treasury which Nakula brought that 10,000 camels could carry it with difficulty on their backs, and arriving at Indraprastha, the heroic and fortunate son of Madri presented the whole of that wealth unto Yudhishthira. Thus did Nakula subjugated the countries that lay to the west, the direction that is preceded over by the god Varuna, and that had once before been subjugated by Vasudeva himself.